Welcome back. So people ask about my hat collection. I've been through the jersey collection many times over, and I get questions of, well, what about your hats? So even though I know that videos I did on hats years ago, I did a series on hats years ago, they don't do very well. What I'll do is I'll go through each team. I will grab 5 hats of note from each team. If I can come up with 5 hats of note, this kind of, I shouldn't have a problem with that. And then we'll go through it. So I'm going to go alphabetical. That's how the alphabet works. All right, so with Anaheim, a lot of these are going to be Mighty Ducks themed. Eventually, I think they'll go back to that logo. For anybody wondering, I'm wearing Chilliwack Chiefs. Both the jersey and the hat are Chilliwack Chiefs because I figured, why not? When am I going to wear a BCHL jersey? So, yeah, Anaheim Ducks, their 25th anniversary. I like it because it matches a bunch of different jerseys. Then you have this. This is the ugliness, absolute sheer ugliness. And I found a bunch of these on sale. They were like $8 or $7 each for each, and I was like, "Oh, I'll get." And I don't just mean Ducks. I didn't get like 10 Ducks ones. I mean like different teams. But it's ugly. So if it really with these hats, I think of it as, oh, something bad happened. I'm wearing the ugly hat. This one I just got actually from 47 today. You can see right there, Anaheim Ducks hockey. So I would say with the amount of stuff with the Mighty Ducks, the old logo on it, they're going to go back to it eventually. And then of course I do have the original logo and design. I think this one's is this one a 47 as well? No, it's a Zephyr. So the Z on the side means it's a Zephyr hat. With current political stuff going on, I do feel bad for that company. But hey, anyways, moving on. We've got this absolutely fantastic Ducks hat. Now I've got a whole bunch of them with this kind of a reflector deal on the front and the logo off to the side. Don't be surprised when those show up, but it is a sharp design. It is a good look. And I do wish Fanatics had more creative looks to their hats. So with Coyotes, Kachina, ugly, again, the ugly hat, right? This one I like, but I don't wear it in videos very much because it's really hard to see the actual logo, but I think the logo looks fantastic. And for some reason, the black on black works on that one. This, of course, is from the Space Coyote. Now, apparently, they're doing 2 different versions of the Space Coyote this year. I'm going to echo somebody I saw on Twitter saying don't overdo it. But I do have a throwback and the Space Coyote, and that's great. It's my favorite logo of theirs. And a Kachina that I got through the NHL store not that long ago, shortly after the logo change took place. But Kachina stuff sells out fast. So with Boston, reverse retro. So that's a Fanatics that was alright. Even the reverse retros, though, they're somewhat plain. There's a Providence Bruins jersey, proving that it's not just NHL hats I have. I do have an AHL one as well. And I have other AHL ones. But anyways, there's the Bruins and all their Stanley Cups. I do enjoy wearing that one. It's still good. I was hoping in 2019 I would need a new one, but thankfully they lost to the Blues, so I didn't end up needing to replace this hat. But in 2019, I did make sure that I got the conference finals champ. Now, conference champs, these hats, don't buy them brand new. That's my recommendation. They will always go on sale for less than half price through the NHL store. That's what I waited for. One design you'll see a lot with me is this. This matches a lot of different jerseys. That's the reason I wear it. And then we're back where we started. There's one hole in my hat collection that will get repaired this year. Yes. So I have the Buffa Slug, of course. It was going out at around the time that I started collecting, so it was easy to find a Buffa Slug hat on sale. I don't have anything that actually has the goat head on the front. So this year's reverse retro will fix that. There's a nice yellow buffalo hat because I had to have yellow to match the yellow jersey when I got it. This one here, interestingly enough, was listed as the Heritage hat. And yet it matches the 50th anniversary, not the Heritage jersey. At least that's how I feel about it. This is your reverse retro. I always like the double-crossed swords. And then this is the most recent of the yellow hats that I got. Not a bad little design choice, I guess. It's from 47. And it's not too bad. And we're into Calgary, which means starting off here with the gray one. Apologies, sneezing fit and all that. But yeah, gray Flames jersey to start off. I do like black Flames hats too because they match all of the Flames gear. Even the red and gold and white they wear now. Their division champions hat, I got for cheap through the NHL site. And then they lost some players and I thought, man, it's going to look like trolling if the Flames fall apart. But thankfully they fixed it in the offseason. And so it won't look like trolling when I'm wearing this one, but I do sometimes get concerned when I buy stuff. This, of course, will match nicely with the hat that's going to be, or with the jersey that's going to be worn for the reverse retro this year. It looks like they're going back to this design. This one here, maker of this one, it's Zephyr as well. So yeah, the Z on the side. This one here, what I really like that it has this. I think I got this one through the Flames team store because I hadn't seen anything like this, and I had to get it through them. And then I'll finish it off with an Atlanta hat. And again, because the logo didn't really change that much, just went from an A to a C, you can still wear Atlanta hats with Flames jerseys, being Calgary Flame jerseys. Now, for Carolina, I'm also going to be including Hartford, as evidenced by the fact it's a Hartford hat I've got here first. This one I believe I got from Hatland. Hatland's a site I've gone through for some of my fun hats that aren't just kind of plain. This one's kind of plain, but it's the double flag, so I had to get that. I think I got that one through the NHL store. Then you've got another Hartford. Notice the ugly over the top. I said I got a bunch of them, didn't I? And I definitely did. For the Hurricanes, this one here, I really like the brim on it. I think that's a nice look. And this one here. So there are some interesting Hurricanes ones, but in terms of teams, Hurricanes are towards the bottom in terms of number of hats that I have. Chicago was another team I was glad for the reverse retro hats because there are some old Chicago jerseys I have that this now matches. But Chicago's logo hasn't changed that much really over the years when you look at it. And this hat design I like quite a bit, where you've got the one logo here and the logo here. I really like. So I have a lot of hats with that design. This Chicago one here, one of the more recent ones that has been added. I do have to watch with the lettering on the corners though, because it can peel a little bit. As I said with the Boston one, I've got a bunch with this design, and I've got a whole bunch from that design as well. These were draft hats. The draft hats used to be a lot of fun to collect. I don't collect draft hats anymore. I really don't. I've actually found that Colorado doesn't have as many fun designs either. But thankfully, in the same drawer with Colorado, you got a bunch of Nordiques. So, starting off with this one here, Fanatics. I got this at Lids. I bought it in store. I had to get it. I mean, it's the fleur-de-lis on the front, so that's kind of fun. That's great. Avalanche, again, there's the same design I mentioned with the Ducks. I've got more than half the league in this design, but I do like that color blue. There's your Nordiques. This, of course, coming from Adidas, the 3 lines being the dead giveaway. This was released along with the jersey this year that they did the throwback to the 79-80 design of the Quebec Nordiques jersey. And this one here that I do wear regularly in videos where I'm talking about the Avs, because it's probably the best looking, I think, of the bunch. But anyways, yeah, Colorado, there's not a lot of really good designs. Now with Columbus, for the longest time, this was my only Columbus hat. And it is just, its ugliness is fantastic. It was one of the reasons I got it. It is so, yeah, it's very over the top. Of course, I have to have one with the cannon on it. I really like this design a lot. They had a bunch of hats in this design that I'm picking up. Again, I waited until they went on sale, and then I went and got a bunch. Of course, reverse retro. Again, I got a lot of the reverse retro hats. Those ones I was not able to get on sale, and they did sell out quickly for most of them. This one is probably my favorite when it comes to Columbus, and shows that, you know, you could do a lot with this with prominent red as the color, and maybe have some fun with the logo. This way that the logo is made, I think, is a lot of fun. And then, of course, as I've mentioned, I showed you guys Chicago. There's other teams, so many teams I have with this design, because I think it looks clean. It's nice. I believe this one's a Reebok too, right? These are Reeboks? Yeah. The Reebok hats were usually really nice, and for whatever reason, the Adidas ones were also nice, and then Fanatics not so much. Fanatics are kind of plain. They'll come out with, like, here's a brand new selection of Fanatics hats. I'm like, oh, cool. And they all look the same as the last swath of hats. What's interesting with my Minnesota North Stars, Dallas Stars, Cleveland Barons, Kansas City Golden Seals drawer is that it has all those teams in it. So I'll show you guys the Dallas hat. I do wear this one a lot. I like the text here. I think that's kind of nice. I do have to watch so that it doesn't get rubbed off. Also, yeah, I have Cleveland Barons. You know I have Cleveland Barons. I have to have Cleveland Barons, right? I mean, you know, a classic team like that. We may not have a Cleveland Barons today. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. Minnesota North Stars. I have a lot of Minnesota North Stars hats. Enjoy them quite a bit. I leave them with Dallas because technically it's still Dallas, although I could throw them in with the Minnesota Wild as well. There's another North Stars design. So basically, you have the green version, you have the white version. Very, very similar, almost exactly the same. This one is an Adidas. This one is CCM. So different companies made the same. And again, Adidas, right? California Golden Seals, which this is actually Oakland Seals. I do have a California Golden Seals. So, here you go. So there's California Golden Seals and Oakland Seals. It's an O or it's a C. Either way, the team didn't last. They moved, and now they're in the same drawer as the Dallas Stars. So if something ugly happens involving Detroit, this is my hat for that, because it doesn't even have any form to it. Anyways, that's the hat for when things go wrong with Detroit. This might be my favorite of the Detroit hats. For some reason, the winged wheel in front of another winged wheel just it works. It looks very nice. This shows that black can work with Detroit. Now, there are fans who aren't a big fan of the idea of black being on a Detroit jersey, but come on, just once. Just once. This Detroit is rather loud, and again, I have a bunch of hats that have a similar design to this. I like it. That's just me. And then if you want a throwback, there's your throwback as well. I do have some other old throwbacks too when it comes to the hats. Which, this one here, I'm trying to think of where I got this one. I don't think this is one a subscriber sent me, although I know I have at least one hat that a subscriber has sent me. This one I want to say I got through the NHL store. But yeah, there's a lot of hats here. I have 6 Oilers hats. That's it. Why? There's not a lot of fun stuff being done with Oiler hats. But there's the gear coming out in the reverse retro, so I should have a hat with the gear on the front. That may be my new favorite. But this is the reverse retro from the last time around. Not really any different than what they'll be wearing this year on the ice, is it? This, of course, the orange one. At some point, the orange hats, I think, are probably going to be retired from me wearing them in videos. There's one of the first. That might have been the first Oilers hat that I had. This was a design Reebok hat that I got some hats of. I debated whether or not to get more, and I opted against it. This one here is one of those, well, people don't like the flat brims. There's a lot of people don't like them, and then I'm not allowed to bend them either. Early on in the channel, flat brims, if I try bending, I got told don't do that. But if I wear a flat brim, I get told I can't take this guy seriously. He's wearing a flat brimmed hat. And another one of the ones in the same design, and I think it looks really nice. So I only have 6 Oiler hats because they don't have enough difference between one hat and the next for me to get them. I also only have 6 Florida Panther hats. Starting off with, there you see, that one there. It works with every team, it really does. And your reverse retro. So there's the reverse retro with the jumping cat on it. And there's the reverse retro with this on the front. Now, considering that may very well be the logo on the front of the reverse retro, I may not need the reverse retro hat this year. Although it's a different color, so it may clash. Dag nabbit. And then, of course, this, I like this one a lot, too. Again, the red, the black, I like the, well, it's dark gray, but on camera it almost looks black. Almost. And then this one here I like quite a bit, too, because it's got this Florida Panthers logo in the corner, which, of course, was on their secondary, which I do have. So, there's that. So, that's Florida. I have a ton of Kings jerseys. I have a ton of Kings hats. So we'll start off with one that I consider to be absolutely fantastic. We know that this reverse retro was very popular, and there's a good reason why. And then the sad story. So I ordered this one. This one looks great, doesn't it? Until you look at the brim and you can see where the sticker was that they had on it, and it had actually attached itself so that when I pulled up the sticker, there's a really obvious impression on the hat. That's why I've not worn it in a video. And it actually made me sad when I took that sticker off. Now, I still love that logo. I think it's fantastic. I love the silver brim. I had been looking forward to wearing this with, of course, the silver, the new third they have that I thought would have matched it. But that, to me, kind of wrecks it. You guys can let me know your thoughts, though. This one I like quite a bit. It's pretty simplistic. That's, of course, their original logo, just simplified a little bit. I think it looks really sharp. This one here. Similar to the one from Columbus that I showed you, of course, I've advocated for and still will advocate for the crown being on the front of the jerseys. And then this one here that I got not too long ago. I think I got this one on eBay, actually. But yeah, it's got the coat of arms there. The Kings have had a lot of different looks. Most of them are fantastic. Minnesota. So for Minnesota, there's a red wild hat. Very simplistic, very simple. This one's from 47. It's one of those trucker hats. that doesn't really have form. I don't like how they sit on my head, so I don't wear these very often in videos. They're nice to wear when you're out, though, if you're going out places and if it's hot. I find those ones stay a little cooler. There, of course, is the one from their most recent Winter Classic. I still like it. I'm still going to wear the jersey, too, because I still think it's nice. This is, of course, the design I've been showing with other teams, too. This is the most recent hat of theirs I've gotten. I think it looks really nice. And again, it's simple, but it's still different, which is a tricky line to straddle. And then there you see Minnesota Wild. Very, very sharp. I like the coloring, too. I think the tan coloring works for the logo. Okay, to round out this video, so I'm going from Anaheim to Minnesota in this, or to Montreal in this one. I'll do Nashville to Winnipeg later. But this was the look of the Montreal Canadiens when they won the Stanley Cup and decided they were world champions. Imagine a team doing that now. Just imagine a team putting a globe on and going, hey, we're the best team in the world. Oh, man. Montreal Maroons. I have a Montreal Maroons sweater. I also have a Montreal Maroons hat. So this was from 47. 47 has some kind of bland looks on its site that also have some tough logos to find. We'll come back to that. Really like this one. I actually have a lot of Montreal hats. I have probably about 12 or 15 different Montreal hats, keeping in mind that there have been a couple of different looks over the years. There's your, as I said, this design I have a bunch of. I have it in Montreal as well. Proving as well that there were blue hats for Montreal before they wore those cursed reverse retros that were also blue. This one I like. Again, Hatland. This design popular on the Hatland site. And really a throwback. I haven't seen anything new on that site when it comes to the NHL in a long time, too. So odds are whatever they have in stock might be just what they have in stock. And then this one that I got from 47 today. This, of course, is the same logo they had for the barber pole jersey. I have the sweater for the barber pole, and now I have a hat to match it. So I don't look silly when I wear it. So that's a good place to end out this portion of the program. All right, there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. I would have looked through all my hats, but no, then the video is twice as long and guaranteed nobody watches it. But there you go. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.